Shalom, this is Rabbi Mark Kunis, and my taste of Torah for Parshat Tavo, 5781. Rosh Hashanah is only a couple of weeks away, and with the Delta variant of the coronavirus still threatening, people are wondering whether they should come to Shul or stay home. So let me tell you what Jewish law would have you do. This week's Torah portion begins, Ki tetzei la milchama alevecha, when you go to war against your enemies. And it proceeds to tell us what to do if a soldier finds a captive woman that he wants. It demands he treat her with honor and dignity, unlike the custom of the world. But that's a discussion for another time. I want you to notice that it doesn't say if you go to war, but when you go to war. In other words, there almost always will be wars for us to fight in one form or another. And there is no doubt that we are now fighting a war against the coronavirus, and we're winning. Rashi in his commentary teaches us that the war this week's Parsha is referring to is a Milchemet Reshut, an optional war that needs permission to fight, like fighting for security or strategic reasons. And for this kind of war, as we learned previously, certain people were exempt. People who were afraid and couldn't handle the battle, or people who had other pressing considerations in their lives. It wouldn't be helpful anyway to have them around because they would drag down the others. However, there is another kind of war. Milchemet mitzvah, a war that's a mitzvah, like a battle for survival. For this, everyone has to show up and fight. My colleague Rabbi Mitchell Wolberg asks, is COVID a Milchemet Reshut, an optional war, or a Milchemet Mitzvah, an obligatory war? It seems that people are deciding that for themselves. It sometimes seems like this is an optional war. For some have gotten the vaccine, while others have not. Some are wearing masks all the time, indoors with other people around, while others are not. And it's understandable. And yet I will tell you that Jewish law says that COVID is a battle for survival. And so it's a Milchemet Mitzvah, and we all must fight the battle, because it's a war that threatens us all. Yes, there are risks in coming to Shul. You could get hit by a car. Do you know the risks I take every time I take my pills in the morning? According to the literature, the possible side effects are vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, stomach pain, heartburn, bloating, and gas, and among the others, unusual bleeding. A colleague taking the same medication asked me, what's unusual bleeding? And he goes on to write that he understands the risk we take with medicine, but there are other risks that we all take every single day. Like he says, there are risks in coming to Shul, and yet more people have died from something that happened in their homes than something that happened in their shuls. Remember what happened in Surfside, Florida just a few weeks before? There's a risk if you live in a condo or an apartment building. There are constant risks in life. Yes, there are risks in every war. Yes, there are some who just don't want to fight the battle. But if you don't come to Shul, we're giving up an important part of you, of your existence. You can stay home and watch it on Zoom from some other synagogues. But on Zoom, you're a spectator. In Shul, you're a participant. In Shul, you learn to share with other people's joys and sorrows. In Shul, you pray together. You laugh together and sometimes even dance together. That only happens in shuls. In Shul, your prayers take on a special meaning and solemnity. I'm not sure the same thing happens if you're sitting at home in your bathrobe, zooming in for a service. So my friends, the choice is yours. But we at Shari Shamayim have made a choice. We're going to do everything possible to make you comfortable in coming to Shul for the high holy days. Know that although more than 95% of our congregants are vaccinated, nevertheless, everyone who comes to Shul must be masked. So send back my email and let us know that you're coming. We're making it possible for you to usher in the high holy days in your Shul, as the Jewish people have done for thousands of years, together as a community. It's worth the battle because we're going to win. L'shana tova tikatevu v'techatemu. May Hashem write us and seal us all in the book of life for the coming year.